Have you ever wondered what it feels like to transform fear into understanding? For many years, I have witnessed patients and many people grapple with complex medical terminologies and inaccessible information, and I am determined to change that narrative. As a pathologist, I have had the unique vantage point, which perhaps no other specialty does. We are the conduit between all types of patients on one side and all types of medical specialties on the other, whether it's a pediatrician or a cardiologist or a kidney specialist or someone who's looking after cancer. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sanjay Arora and my mission is to unburden healthcare. The idea is to make healthcare more accessible and help people make the right decisions in their healthcare choices. In India, there is a big gap between demand and supply in the healthcare ecosystem. Either we reduce the demand or we increase the supply, or we do both. My objective is to reduce the demand because that's really what's in our control. The incidence of lifestyle disorders is rising rapidly due to increased urbanization and sedentary behavior. These preventable diseases place a massive burden on the healthcare system, not only in India, but globally as well. Lifestyle disorders or non-communicable diseases, also known as NCDs, form the bulk of the healthcare burden. And these are as follows. Top of the list is obesity. Almost 2 billion people globally are overweight and over 650 million are obese. Almost 5 million people die due to diseases linked to obesity every year. Hypertension is number 2, where almost 1.5 billion people suffer from high blood pressure, and of these, close to 45% are unaware of their condition. Number 3, mental health conditions, where over 950 million people suffer from a mental disorder, anxiety and depression being the most common ones. Cardiovascular diseases is at number 4, where over 520 million people live with cardiovascular diseases, and these account for over 1/3 of all deaths globally. Respiratory disorders are at close to 545 million people who are suffering from chronic respiratory diseases like COPD and asthma. Diabetes at number 6 affects close to 540 million people. That is what was noted in the year 2021. Cancer is at number 7, where an estimated 20 million people were diagnosed with cancer in the year 2020. Cancer, unfortunately, caused nearly 10 million deaths globally in that same year, with the most common ones being lung, breast, your intestines, prostate and stomach cancers. While these form the bulk of the disease burden, infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, HIV and malaria continue to be a global concern. Around 240 million cases of malaria occur every year, leading to close to 700,000 deaths. TB causes 10 million new cases every year and leads to 1.5 million deaths. Fast rising condition is antimicrobial resistance or AMR. Overuse of antibiotics is leading to antimicrobial resistance, where bacteria become resistant to available treatments. And the impact of this, seen by 2050, is that AMR could cause 10 million deaths if no action is taken. But we must be aware not only of the conditions today, but also trends for the future. Number 1 is an aging population. Number 2 is climate change. And number 3 is urbanization. By 2050, an older population will see a higher prevalence of chronic conditions such as dementia, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, and cancer. Climate change includes rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and shifting disease patterns. Now, these increases heat-related illnesses, vector-borne diseases, respiratory conditions, and food insecurity. By 2050, almost 70% of the world's population is expected to live in urban areas. Now, this could exacerbate health challenges such as air pollution. We already spoke about sedentary lifestyles and, unfortunately, mental health disorders. In my opinion, lifestyle disorders are the result of how we compromise our life with our style. For example, as we continue to live longer, we live up to the ages of 75 or 80, but unfortunately, our health span stops before the age of 70. So the gap between a lifespan and health span is over 10 years. And the idea is to bridge this gap. And this is what Unburdened Healthcare hopes to achieve.